Alright, so I am looking at ZeusAI's paper for learning to play Seven Wonders Duel without human supervision. Seems pretty cool. Alright, so um, just a quick short thing here on the very front of this post before we get into the actual paper. Post talks about civilian victory and uh, science victory and military victory and how first player affects that. So it would look like the first player wins most often in science, military, and civilian victory. Um, the darker colors of the different lines will be the first player. So you see the dark blue is first player winning a lot in civilian, and then over many games it kind of evens out to show when through self play what the most likely conclusion to the game would be. And so we see that even so with military and science, it's the next most often for the first player to win. And maybe science and military about tied. But um, with the second player, military is a little bit less often happening than science. So interestingly, that the first player has more control over military happening, and the second player has less control of all ways of winning, lower than the first player. But the military and science are flip flopped in how likely they are to win. But they're not going to win any more than the first player is going to win in that same domain of winning. So you see very close though between the science of the second player and the science of the first player winning. Very a lot farther away between the second player and the first player with military, and a huge giant gap between civilian victory. So I thought that was interesting. Doesn't confirm or deny my hypothesis that the second player has an alternate way that they should go for winning. It looks like it's if we're looking at these numbers, just try to win the best way possible, and it looks like that is going civilian victory. Now I should say this is with the basic version vanilla. Now there is interestingly, this is showing the wonders, and we'll zoom in on this one here for see. This is showing the most often wonders that are selected by Zeus. In the beginning, ZeusAI was thinking take Piraeus more often, and then Great Lighthouse more often, thinking a resource strategy was a good idea. Like many new players will think are the two best wonders. I see that so many times in forums, from Reddit to Board Game Geek to these own forums, saying that they believe that the resource giving wonders are the best if they are a new player. But as you play over 400,000 games, it solidifies into a list that's very similar to the list on my YouTube channel, where I've ranked all of the wonders with a caveat. ZeusAI favors the statue of Zeus, possibly because the AI somehow knew that its own name was Zeus and it favored the statue of Zeus, because that's how AI works exactly. I guess I need to reevaluate, and maybe Statue of Zeus is better than Great Library. We'll go from the bottom to the top. So, Pyramids had a huge drop, and it was found to be the worst. Okay. Great Lighthouse um, looks like it's in a tier above Pyramids, so I've always ranked them both exact same. But yeah, it looks like they're about in the same a higher tier. Sorry. Um, but yeah, I would put them both in like an F tier as last picks. but Great Lighthouse I still believe is better than Pyramids. And then we have kind of a three-way tie between Colossus, Circus Maximus, and Mausoleum. I've always thought Mausoleum was a pretty good one, but in the base game, I do feel the Great Library is the better one in almost all circumstances. It's just so expensive to get out, and you might do it to try to get one of the progress tokens that are out there, grabbing a science from the discard pile, but or possibly a military. But yeah, great library. Being able to take one of the tokens not in the game for vanilla, that's amazing because with the expansions, the new progress tokens are worse for the most part. And then Statue of Zeus. I think it's just because maybe Zeus is so good at calculating how much resources will cost and how to uh, win in a points based, because they only need to win by one. And so, if you're really good at calculations, then yes, Statue of Zeus is going to be very useful to you because you can skew those calculations, but it's not helping you very much in a military victory. Just giving you one shield, and it's definitely not helping you in a science because the push of the one shield early in the game helps your opponent get a start the next age, whether it's from age 2 to age 3, or yeah, it probably wouldn't be from age 1 to age 2, but yeah, you build a statue of Zeus in age 2, and it gets you into that situation where you're not going to start the game, but at least you get the benefit of taking away your opponent's stone or maybe their wood, and you play a denial game of that one of those two resources. The next one up is exactly how I would have ranked all the rest of them, the extra turns, and I would rank them in this way: Sphinx being the worst, just 6 points in the extra turn; Appian Way being 3 coins and take away 3 coins of the opponent, but it's an expensive wonder. It costs 5 resources instead of 4. And 2 doubles, so two double stone and double brick, very expensive. But the fact that it gives you coins and can take away coins is better than giving 6 points. And then Green Hanging Gardens, that's how I would rank it. Piraeus, that's how I rank it. And then Temple of Artemis, that's how I rank Temple of Artemis being the best. So you wouldn't need to look at this table to see what's the best one. Do a whole, uh, you know, you know, ZeusAI and all the work that came into that. Although that's really exciting that what they did, and I'm so glad that it exists. If you were just using, trying to create an AI to evaluate the wonders, there's already a board game channel, YouTube channel out there that could evaluate all the wonders for you and give you a very accurate list, except for maybe I wasn't as accurate with the Statue of Zeus. The Statue of Zeus probably um, should be higher in my rankings, and it's only just because, like I said, the AI can calculate way better than a human and can calculate probabilities in the future. And if you have that edge of calculation, then you can err on the side of calculating with taking away the opponent's economy and eking out a win with getting the exact right amount of coins that you need and the exact right amount of points that you would gain from denying those coins. Anyhow, so, but if you're not a supercomputer, then you might still err on the side of Great Library. All right. So you can see what the rest of the people have said about it. Some people saying that would you want to try this with other games? Looks like the people who did ZeusAI also found a way to do something with Hanabi, which is just so great because um, that's another one by Anton Timboza. All right, and then we go on to the paper. So here we are, and it's a little bit smaller. All right, so we will read the paper out for everybody to hear. learning to play Seven Wonders Duel. Right. So this paper introduces ZeusAI, an artificial intelligence system, and I'm just going to read the paper the rest of the time and make comments as I go. So you can read the paper on your own if you want, but that's what I'm going to do. I haven't read it yet. This paper introduces ZeusAI, an artificial intelligence system developed to play the board game Seven Wonders Duel, inspired by AlphaZero reinforcement learning algorithm. ZeusAI relies on a combination of Monte Carlo tree search and transformer neural network to learn the game without human supervision. ZeusAI competes at the level of top human players, develops both known and novel strategies, and allows us to test rule variants to improve the game balance. This work demonstrates how AI can help in understanding and enhancing board games. Artificial intelligence, reinforcement learning, Seven Wonders Duel, board game strategy, board game enhancement. Alright. Introduction. Seven Wonders Duel is an award-winning game published in 2015. As a two-player version of the world-famous multiplayer game Seven Wonders. As of May 2024, Seven Wonders Duel holds 15th place in the Board Geek ranking and is the 8th most played game on Board Game Arena. With 8.7 million games played since its introduction in 2020, its presence on Board Game Arena has fostered competitive play and development of deep strategies, also thanks to frequent tournaments as well as seasonal and all-time rankings. This paper introduces ZeusAI, an AI ZeusAI, an AI system capable of matching and potentially outperforming top human players at Seven Wonders Duel. To the best of our knowledge, this is the first publicly declared AI that plays Seven Wonders Duel at an expert level. That's correct. Right. We train ZeusAI using deep reinforcement learning with no supervision. Games played between humans or from human developed strategies. Our approach is similar to AlphaZero, the algorithm developed by DeepMind to achieve superhuman performance in games such as Go, chess, and shogi. ZeusAI differs from AlphaZero in two key aspects. First, it has a mechanism to bound the number of random continuations considered when making a move. This is not needed in AlphaZero, as games like Go and chess have no randomness. Second, it employs a transformer in place of convolutional. Transformers have revolutionized the natural language processing and, more recently, the whole field of AI. Unlike convolutional current networks, transformers do not have a built-in assumption of spatial or temporal proximity in the input, making them better suited to handle the complex state of a Seven Wonders Duel game. We are currently in the process of testing ZeusAI against some of the best players in the world. To this end, we have been in best of 5 live matches, as well as ongoing series of offline games. ZeusAI has won 26 out of the 38 games, 68.4%. Glad they put the percentage there. Played so far against top human players. Zeus rediscovered well-known strategies to play Seven Wonders Duel, but also frequently makes moves that are counterintuitive to expert players, suggesting that Seven Wonders Duel is far from solved. We use ZeusAI to derive numerous statistics of interest, such as ranking of wonders and progress tokens. We talked about the ranking of wonders earlier in this video. We also confirmed the known belief that the first player holds a significant advantage, estimating a 66% win rate. We propose and evaluate several variants that reduce this imbalance to as little as 51.6%. While keeping changes to a minimum, we hope that these variants will gain traction in the Seven Wonders Duel community. I think that's a good idea to fix the first player issue. Seven Wonders Duel is a game with no hidden information, and so it admits a theoretical optimal strategy like Go and chess, with no dynamics such as bluffing. However, unlike Go and chess, Seven Wonders Duel has elements of randomness. The random flip of the card does not count as hidden information, but does count as randomness. In Seven Wonders Duel, two players compete to develop their cities and win in one of three ways: civilian, by obtaining the most points; scientific, by acquiring 6 distinct scientific symbols; or military, by advancing the conflict pawn to the opponent's capital on the military track. That was a very concise way to say this. These different victory conditions introduce considerable strategic depth, as players need to carefully balance all of them. Game components include 10 progress tokens, 12 wonders, 73 building cards granting permanent bonuses or one-time effects. Notably, 5 of the wonders grant the owner immediate extra turn when constructed. During game setup, 5 progress tokens are randomly revealed, and then wonder selection begins, consisting of 2 drafts. For the first draft, 4 wonders are randomly revealed and selected from 2-2-1 player sequence. In the second draft, 4 more wonders are revealed and selected according to the first, second sequence. This way, each player obtains 4 wonders to build throughout the game. Gameplay progresses through 3 ages, each involving a card selection mechanism from a unique structure of face-up and face-down cards. See Figure 1, so we can see Figure 1, yep. And then Figure 2, some of the cards are shown in Figure 2, and they're ordered based on what Zeus picked. I like that. They did that with this figure. So you see the 3 most frequently built cards by ZeusAI. Just 1 is the Tavern. I could see that. My second favorite would have been the Wood Reserve, but it looks like they just go for having wood as a resource. Maybe they're going to try to deny wood from the opponent. And so that's a denial strategy. And then grabbing Iris. Interesting. And I've always said that glass is screaming, I'm a late game resource. Use me to get some points at the end of the game if you need to go for points. Whereas, or use me for Mausoleum to get an upper hand at the very end of the game. But Papyrus is kind of saying, I'm kind of an early game one. But maybe it's screaming early game because it's third most picked. Okay, so next up, another thing that I've always said is the Brewery is the best card in H2, and it's showing that right there. And also the military, if you're going to go military strategy, the double militaries are important. Interesting, the one that costs like 2 brick and a glass is not there, but it might be the 4th that was chosen. And then going for military in the final age. I mean, I guess if you value military so much, then you're blocking the opponent from beating you in military, so that can be useful. But by taking these 2 military in H2, you're giving your opponent the chance to pick who goes first in the next stage. And then, of course, there's the guild cards, which are the most picked. Interestingly, that the military, and then the science are those next most picked one. It's a 3-point science that is not a double gray resource. It's a glass and a papyrus instead of the double. I think there's one that costs a stone, wood, and then a double, maybe double papyrus, maybe a double glass, I don't remember. But that one would also be worth 3 points. There's 2 expensive ones and 2 cheap ones. It goes for the expensive one, and the cheaper of the 2 most expensive ones. If it's cheaper if you had wood going on already. So that is interesting. But it's the 3rd most picked. First most picked is a military card. I'll bet the distribution's a lot more even on what is most often picked with 3rd H3 cards, but I'll bet it's a lot more standard what you pick for the H1 cards. Always taking Tavern. Alright, so then we move on to the next part. Some of the cards are shown. In Figure 2, on each turn, a player must choose a card. Either pay its cost to add to their city and gain a benefit, use to activate one of their wonders, or discard it to gain coins, which in turn can be used to purchase resources. When a player collects 2 identical scientific symbols, they can pick one of the available progress tokens. Only 7 wonders can be built in total. This rule adds pressure to the players as is typically convenient. Convenient? I don't know if I would use that word, but convenient to construct all 4 available wonders before the opponent does. Some of the most critical decisions in a game revolve around finding the correct timing to build the wonders. ZeusAI is an adaptation of the celebrated AlphaZero reinforcement learning algorithm. combining Monte Carlo tree search with deep neural network that model states, values, and policy. In this section, we give a technical overview of ZeusAI, and I think we're gonna skip the technical part and see what was able to be learned. Yeah, I guess there's 768 dimensional embedding. Um, there's 11 child states. They have many different simulations, but we're going to go into the most common win rates and the most common selected wonders. As I've said before, the first player has an advantage, and as I've said before, the Temple of Artemis is the best wonder base game, and Pyramids is the worst. Alright, looks like ZeusAI agrees with me there. Now, an analysis of the training games. Alright, so Zeus quickly learned to exploit the first player advantage at about the beginning of the first. I think what they mean by the first player advantage is that starting the next age. But draws only occurred in about 0.1% of games that are not shown. Okay. ZeusAI quickly learned to exploit the first player advantage. It took 100,000 games for the scientific victory to be discovered as a viable strategy. That's interesting. Due to the very sparse reward obtained when collecting a diverse set of scientific symbols, you normally want to select the same symbols to get a bonus. The discovery of the scientific victory also marked the moment when we stopped being able to consistently beat ZeusAI and felt confident that it had reached a competent level of play. Alright, so Figure 4 shows the evolution of ZeusAI's wonder preference through training, computed average, and numerical value based on... Oh wow, this is very cool. Take a look at this. So this table, Figure 5, shows how wrong humans were. The top human players are on the bottom, and then, or just human players are on the bottom, and ZeusAI's selections are on the top. And the farther the curve, the more wrong humans were. So Zeus says Pyramids is absolutely terrible. Some humans like to pick it. So a little bit of a curve. A huge curve with this Colossus. And then saying the Colossus is better than we expected. Great Lighthouse, a ginormous curve. One might say a colossal curve on Great Lighthouse. Moving from human players picking it way more than Zeus would pick it, so similar to how Pyramids was evaluated. Not really much of a curve at all with Circus Maximus. Then next, Mausoleum, not really much of a curve there. A huge curve with the statue of Zeus, human players valuing it about as much high as they value Circus Maximus. And I actually pick it over Circus Maximus a lot of the times. But I won't be doing that as often anymore. Having statue of Zeus is very important to have. Alright, and then, so that's a huge curve there. And then not very much of a curve. Sphinx, Appian Way, Hanging Gardens, about the same evaluation. People believe that Sphinx is a little bit less good than Appian Way, and that's how people rank them. And then Piraeus having a little bit of a squiggle, and then Temple of Artemis having a little bit bigger of a squiggle. So that may be based on humans picking it a little bit less often than ZeusAI would pick it. So I found that to be very interesting. Alright, so we turned the BGA community to further assess ZeusAI's level of play. Between January and April 2024, we organized best of 5 challenges against 3 of the top 7 Wonders Duel players on Board Game Arena. These events were streamed live on YouTube and accompanied by our analysis of the games. Link is provided in section 1. 2 of the challenges ended with ZeusAI's victory, and 1 with a defeat. 2 to 3. We also stated a separate series of games against one of the 3 players. ZeusAI is currently leading 18 to 6. Overall, ZeusAI has won 26 out of 38 games played so far against top players, confirming the impression that it has achieved a very high level of play. Victory types. After training ZeusAI, we generated 10k self-play games to extract statistics and insights. This I'm very interested to see. So we see the wonder selection already. We see the building wonders in age 1. Okay, ZeusAI builds an extra turn wonder 52% of the time when there are 2 cards left in age 1. That's great. I figured out the first player advantage, first player trick, I call it. And then 12% of the time when there are 4 cards left. Interesting, okay. A known tactic that allows a player to obtain more cards in age 1 and also start age 2. So basically they're probably doing that with 4 cards left because they know their opponent can't afford to use an extra turn to stop them, because that would be how you would beat them. If they use an extra turn at 4 cards left, and now there's 2 cards left, you use an extra turn, so that you go first. But if you don't have an extra turn, or you don't have enough coins for it, maybe they use Davian Way against you, and you can't. So 52 plus 12, that should be noted. That is 64% of the time they are using an extra turn to gain a first player advantage. I would guess that's what that 12% of times is doing. ZeusAI frequently employs this tactic even with a single extra turn wonder left. Oh my goodness, that's when I wouldn't do it, or I might consider not doing it. While human players tend to be more conservative. Yes, it is true. Alright, progress tokens ranked by frequency of selection in ZeusAI games. I would rank theology the best, I would rank strategy the next best, I would rank law the next best, I would rank economy the next best, I would rank urbanism the next best, and then I have these rankings memorized in my mind, so I'm amazed that Zeus found this, but I'm also intrigued by the order that it put. It flipped law and strategy, and it put economy lower than the 2-point based ones. And I wonder if, since Zeus is sliding most of their games to be a points win, because he only needs 1 point to actually seal the deal, that's just so interesting. It values these ones that give direct 4 points and 7 points higher than economy, where you wait to accumulate those points via getting coins from your opponent throughout the game. But it still has economy higher than urbanism, which is what I would put those two as, and then the rest of them. Very interesting how that does that. Okay, so the first player coins, and then the second player coins. So that's an interesting table. I don't know what it means. Does that mean how many coins they have at the... well, there's a coin variant where they give the player a little bit more coins. I like that, okay. I like that they tried to do that. I don't like that in practice. I think there's a better way to balance it, and that's through the wonder selection variant, which they are trying to actively do right now to fix it. So, yeah, all in all, this is some really crazy great stuff. So conclusion and future work. In this paper, we've described our ongoing efforts in building, evaluating, using ZeusAI to understand and improve 7 Wonders. Going forward, we intend to further assess ZeusAI's strengths and weaknesses, discover deep insights into 7 Wonders dual strategy, and playtest ideas to balance the game. Wow, very exciting stuff. Alright, anyways, thank you so much for watching this, and let's look forward to more developing achievements with ZeusAI.